I'm Major Allen. I know most of you, a good deal of you. Today we're going to talk about the organizational inspection program. This is what the organizational inspection program is. It's owned by the IG, it's managed by the IG, it's actually something that they do, and the S3s and the G3s implement it. Again, this is an IG program. We just get to put it into place, much like making sure UMRs are correct before you go into USR cycles. The reason why they put the OIP program, or they're putting such emphasis on it, is so that we're not all inspecting smaller units at the same time. You don't want 7 G4 people or brigade S4 people converging onto a company that has a motor sergeant, a training sergeant, and a UA 3 different days out of the week, because that's going to take up all their time for the entire week. They won't get any work done. So if you manage the program right, you'll put them all down there at the same time, trying to be as efficient as possible. This is also used to figure out where there are problems that are going on inside units. One of the things that we now, since we've been doing this for a couple of years, we have the capability to actually start trending and figuring out where we're running into the same problems over and over. This is going to become a helpful tool for us at the division level and you guys at the brigade and battalion levels. Here's what you're going to do for your program. Here's how it's going to get put into place. The regulation that you need to do is listed on there, and it's also out under the Organizational Inspection Program link on the SharePoint homepage inside a folder called Regulations. The part that's the hardest and the actual inspectable item is not that button right there. We need to have somebody pointed as an additional duty officer. I know the second has it because you have a young captain or a lieutenant that was very insistent upon it, so we made sure we got that put together for him. Colonel Stevens, or yay, Major Stevens, you are the inspection coordinator for the 307th, and I am not sure who it is for the rest of the brigades.
No, because I have to accept it.
One of the things that you need to make sure you do is get that person appointed, and then make sure that you have somebody appointed in your battalion headquarters. Here's what they do. Here's the different types of inspections that go along with the organizational inspection program. OIP covers all of these things. We are in the middle too, and then the IG takes care of the rest. We have to report what happens underneath this first portion here. These are Mr. Black's. This is the S4. Not sure who really does the phone, but that's going to be Mr. Black. But everything else that goes along with this is ours. These are the different types of inspections. Everybody thinks a staff assistance visit is the same as a staff inspection. Exactly, Sergeant. They are not. A staff assistance visit is to get the staff working on track and better in a way that makes them more efficient on turn-in and makes their product move smoother through the chain of bureaucracy. A staff inspection is to find out where they are doing things wrong and make corrective action. That's the best way to remember it. Staff inspections can also be used for evaluations of how that person is doing things. Staff inspections can go on to NCOERs and OERs as comments. We're pretty good at this part, except for here, led by the commander. It's kind of deceiving. It's led by 2 commanders. It's led by the unit commander. The unit commander that is being inspected, the unit, his commander has to be there to see what's going on, and the brigade or battalion commander also have to be there, especially for the initial command inspection. On the subsequent command inspection, We're bending the rules a little bit. We're letting them do the in-briefing off-site, but they need to be on-site. If at all possible, please make it possible. We need to do it that way once the out-briefing takes place. Because at that subsequent command inspection, those findings are now reportable on your OERs and NCOERs. It says within 180 days for the National Guard and the Army Reserve. That's 180 days. A brand new commander, a brand new captain can be snowballed by his staff. Would you like that? There's 180 days that somebody can be leading that commander down the primrose path. I would suggest you pull it closer to 90 days, but by regulation, I can't make it go any further. By our standards, by the 807th reg, I can put that in there. DA still takes precedence over the top of it. Okay, again, the initial command inspection cannot be used to evaluate the company commander, battalion commander, or brigade commander. The initial cannot be. This part is very important. You cannot give the results. The results first go to the brigade, or the general, in our case, one of the DCGs, and then he'll release them to the brigade commander. The brigade commander then has the option to release those results down to the staff level. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to do anything with them. But it's important to know that that's the chain. You only have to give those results to 2 people. If you know the inspection number, they have now changed up the automated inspection program, and you can actually find those comments. But you're going to have to schedule training to learn how to do that. When you've got a new company commander coming in, new battalion commander, within 2 months, schedule your ICI. You know when they are, you know when your commanders are going to take place. Make sure you put that in your training schedule, and know that 1 year later, you're going to put the subsequent command inspection in at that same point. Those are 2 given days, 2 weekends that you already know out of the years, or out of 2 years, where you're going to have something scheduled. It's kind of like an APFT in April and October, and you're going to do an inspection at least 2 months after, and then 1 year later. Staff inspections. Dang it. Compliance oriented. Compliance oriented. This is when you're trying to get the good idea very in line with the regulations. Maybe it works, but if that process works but doesn't follow the regulation, it doesn't work. Do you know what I mean? If you don't meet all the points on turning in a packet, it's not a good packet. So you're going to go down there and try to get you're going to make sure compliance takes place, but you need to do it in such a way that, never mind. It's compliance oriented. Don't break the spirit to get to the compliance, just make sure the compliance is built into it. All right, these are my favorite parts. Why do units fail? It's the way we did it in my old unit. Oh my God, have some creative thinking. Come up with a new idea every once in a while. Just because it's old and it's not broke doesn't mean it can't be used again. How many, just have a new idea every once in a while. This one is true. You don't know what you don't know. So maybe it truly is a learning procedure that you need to help fix, and that's where the staff assistance visits can come along. I like this one, I left it in
Thank you.
for particular reasons. They just want to get paid. I don't understand, I thought I understood, I did it right the last time. This comes down to processes, not so much compliances, but are there procedures, SOPs, and other guidelines in place to make sure that you have the right steps being followed through on? Okay? The Organizational Inspection Program has taken on many names, and it's been around since I've been in the Army 26 years ago. We used to have to lay out all of our generators and all the equipment that went along with it, and our staff sergeants and our platoon sergeants, along with our platoon leader, would go and check it out. That is one jug of water, dude. Wow. It's not going away, and now that the missions are shrinking, we have to go back to making sure that the staff knows how to do their job. If you have any questions, please feel free to get hold of me. And then we'll talk about the automated inspection process and the management of the database, the information that's inside it, and how to use it to put an organizational inspection program into place.